Hello there. So, I play Rogue. I only fight fair with friends. I want to attack my opponent when they're at a disadvantage, and I enjoy exploiting the opportunities to do so. Now, I've seen a lot of high tier, high skill, high gear rogues tearing it up on YouTube, and I got a lot of respect for these guys. In a toe-to-toe fight, winning as a rogue is difficult. These guys are risking shiny loot, and I'm just not there yet. If you want to see that sort of goodness, I'm afraid I will have to disappoint. Here, you'll be watching the fumbling antics of someone who does not deserve half the kills he gets. I thoroughly enjoyed the PvP in Dungeonborne. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at it. But if you're starting out in this excellent game and you're feeling a little nervous about the PvP, don't worry. Because if someone like me can get kills, you're going to be just fine. Now that Swordmaster just died in Cyclops, but I'm too freaked out to realize this. I figure it out eventually, don't worry. So, creating advantage as a rogue. How do we go about this? Well, one big one is making use of PvE elements in the game. Let's take a look at this. I see a warrior down again there, and I'm going to assume he'll be tackling the mini-boss that hangs out in this area. So, what I do here, rather than engaging him directly, is I go up this ladder and get myself in a position to attack him when he's already attacking something else. Let's take a look at how that plays out. I see this guy take some hits. We have an advantage. He's got the aggro. Now is the time to hit him. Now here's a similar situation with a tough melee class, the Death Knight. And while this guy is engaged with mobs, I don't have the height advantage from the last fight. I'm not dropping down on this guy, I'm trying to creep up to him. And you're going to see that that doesn't really work. No backstabs, no serious damage, and I've lost the element of surprise. It's definitely time to run. If I was going to do this better, I would have waited until the Death Knight was busy with the mini-boss and had taken a few hits. That would have been the time to attack. Now, height advantage is going to make a significant difference in your fights. You'll have a higher chance of succeeding when you're able to get close to the opponent without them realizing it. Moving across the ground is always going to make sound, but dropping down from a height is silent. And especially if you're using daggers, like I am, you need to rely on those backstabs, because without them, you can't keep up with the damage of other weaponry. Now, Now, sometimes the other guy has the height advantage. And if it's a melee character, that's bad enough, but specifically for spellcasters, it's a deadly proposition. You don't want to engage pyromancers or cryomancers when you're below them. Now, in this clip, I am watching this pyromancer cheese the werewolf. I know he's doing this because the werewolf's not beside me. So what I'm doing here is I'm waiting for that werewolf's pathing to finally figure itself out and go up there to get him. And when it does that, that's my opportunity to go and engage with this guy. Now, you may have noticed in the last clip that the werewolf almost killed me. We're going to come back to this, just keep it in mind. This pyro has immediately outplayed me. There's nothing else I can do. I'm going to run for my life. If I even try to engage with this guy, I'm dead. Now, my obvious hope is that the pyromancer and the rogue engage with each other, so that I can come in and third party them, like the hero I am. So, over the next little while here, I'm going to continually poke this guy with the crossbow, in the hopes that he figures out where it's coming from and tries to come this way and runs into the other rogue. Unfortunately, none of that happens. And also, unfortunately, I'm not very good at the crossbow, as you're going to see here. However, once the pyro does hit the ground and start to move away from that area, we will engage each other in melee combat, and you should pay close attention to the spacing in PvE that happens at that point. I mentioned earlier that I was fighting the werewolf and that I nearly died to it. That seems to happen to me quite a bit. I get a little bit too excited. I put myself between the aggroed PvE and the target that I'm trying to kill. And then those mob hits land on me and sometimes kill me. So in this clip, when I engage with this pyro in melee, you're going to see me do some very good stuff, making sure that I always keep him between me and the mobs. Okay, great. The pyro's given up his position, his height advantage, and now is the time for me to give chase. Whenever you are chasing players and you don't have direct line of sight, take a look at the mobs and which way they are looking, because that'll give you a hint as to what direction your opponent's gone in. For example, here, I see the knights looking to the left. That lets me see this guy over here. I am going to do some really bad gameplay here at the start. Please don't judge me. That was terrible. But as we get back to the bridge where this guy has those two knights on him, you're going to see a lot of good movement out of me. Alright, I think that's enough talking out of me. For the last part of this video, I'm just putting in a bunch of clips without any commentary. If you do like what you see, please do consider liking and subscribing. This is my first properly edited YouTube video and all that, so, motivate me. Have yourself a wonderful time, and you take care. All right, I'm going to chime in one last time. This final clip is of an embarrassing defeat. And I think it's important to showcase these because we shouldn't be afraid of losing. In fact, you want to throw yourself into as many fights and as many PvP engagements as possible. Get over that panic and that adrenaline. I'm still working on it, but bit by bit, that's how we get there. Don't be afraid to use all gray gear. Use every advantage possible, drink shield potions, use flasks, whatever it takes. The key is to just put yourself into these fights as often as possible and then really consider what happened. Why did you win? Why did you lose? You guys have a wonderful time. Enjoy Dungeonborne, and all the best.